So here we are, part 3. We are just going we're going bam, bam, bam tonight. So I'm going to enter my disclaimer here. Anything that I say is totally my opinion due to research or experience or both. I also want to put in here trigger warnings. There is talks about infertility, fertility, postpartum depression, anxiety, mental health issues, and to anybody who is triggered by food and eating and nutrition, that is the main point of this third part to this whacked up, I like to talk a lot videos video series of which totally the title is actually going to be reacting to Team Beachbody calls now that I'm out of the cult. So get ready for this craziness. But we're going to go ahead and start where we are here. There is a few spots where I have to skip up through, so I apologize for that. But we're going to start off where we left off last time. I was starting to go into it by accident in part 2, so let's just begin.
So I share my food here and there, but I don't want to give it all to them, right? That's what my customers get. They get certain meal plans and things like that in my challenge groups. So when I'm doing the, ultimate portion fix containers, I share that. When I switch to a more intuitive eating, something more like a 2B mindset, I share that. When I'm doing intermittent fasting, I share that. Is that always Beachbody related? No, intermittent fasting is not related, although we do have time nutrition. But it shows people that I'm not there just trying to sell them, that I'm there showing them how I use our programs and products in a way that is authentic to my journal.
Wait, what? Ultimate portion fix, 2B mindset, intermittent fasting. Let's just see where this goes.
My journey. So it's not always including a Beachbody label, and that's okay. I've had several instances where people let me know that they do appreciate that approach. And so I hope that you guys can feel okay and open in sharing every step of your journey. And if that means that you stepped away from the containers and moved on to 2B mindset, just talk to them through that. I'm someone who tends to put, when I am like very new postpartum, the containers are good for me because I don't want to have to think about anything. And so these are laid out for me. I can like figure out my bracket according to nursing, breastfeeding, whatever. And that works when I'm in a more rigid state of my journey. And then when I start to get, around 8 months postpartum, seeing progress or maybe plateau, then I feel like, okay, I'm ready to move on to something else. And so I switch over to 2B mindset, where I'm using the scale because I do need that scale right now. And I'm figuring out what foods are good for me, what foods work for where I'm at personally. And if I am truly in a plateau, hopefully that would break the plateau.
Yes, it would break your plateau because you're going from two different kinds of restrictive eatings. Like, listen, okay, so Ultimate Portion Fix, like she's talking about, has these little containers. And then it goes through, how much for blah, blah, blah. Okay, so for me, I would have been in like the 1,500 calorie range. Listen, do I look like I could survive on 1,500 calories? No, especially working out. So, first off, I'm going to insert right here, okay, how many calories I'm supposed to have a day, along with like versus what they said. So it's gonna be right. Fit here. So Ultimate Portion Fix and 2B are two completely different nutrition plans. I say this because both, you have more of an intuitive eating kind of thing with 2B, and then you have a very restrictive eating thing over here with Ultimate Portion Fix, because you're portioning out everything. In 2B, it's semi-portioned, but she literally went from severely restricting herself while breastfeeding, postpartum, and things like that, to then going to 2B, where it's not as restricted, but still based around whole foods and, those kinds of things, not processed foods. Obviously, so listen, guys. Obviously, when you're breastfeeding, your baby takes not only the nutrients that they're getting from your breasts when they're feeding, but they're taking the nutrients out of your body. A lot of women lose a lot of weight during nursing due to this, because there's already nutrients that the baby is taking out. So you're already in a calorie deficit before you start your day. When you start your day and that baby feeds on you, you're already in a nutrient deficiency, because all your nutrients are in your breasts for your baby, not for you. So most women that are breastfeeding need to eat more anyways. Their calorie intake needs to be a little higher. And if anybody needs to find the science on that, I'm not leaving a link. You can go Google it. Okay, let's continue here. But I did want to say one more thing about the plateau. Yes, you plateaued because your body was so used to the diet that you were on that you needed to change your diet up to be able to continue to lose weight.
So always just walk them through that process. That seems like a thing that maybe you just don't share it. Maybe you do those things, but you don't share them. Share that, because they're going to wonder where those color-coded containers went. They're going to wonder, those things. So just talk them through it. Number 4, my supplements are always evolving. I'm seeing so many posts right now, so I
don't care about that. Okay. Anyways, what I was going to say, I just think there's so much oversharing. But if you do something else in your health and wellness journey, you've seen that it has helped you and changed, then that's when I would start pushing it. So if I was doing Ultimate Portion Fix and I hit a plateau, I would go a month or two before I even said, hey, I switched to 2B mindset. It's really working. I have results. Post the results. Not just go with them every step of the way. That kind of thing. I mean, it's good for them to know that you did this, but dragging it out continuously, and I don't know. To me, that's just dragging it out. I can't. Okay, I just can't. So let me skip up to, let's see, right here. And we're going to go from here. Also, I wanted to input that a lot of them say, it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. It's a freaking diet. But 2B is trying to help you to get a more healthy relationship with food, but it is still a diet. It is not a full lifestyle. Ultimate Portion Fix, diet, 100%. Intermittent fasting is a diet. You can eat whatever the heck you want for 8 hours a day, but for, I think it's 16 hours a day, you can't have nothing. It is a diet. It is a diet program, which I'd have to read up a lot more to comment a little bit more about intermittent fasting, but the only people that I have ever seen use it is people that's dieting, not dying. Dieting. Hopefully not dying. And it's been very successful for some people. Whatever, I've never had an experience with it, so we're just going to continue on with the next bitch fit here that I'm going to have. And it talks about being too relatable and then becoming unrelatable. And a lot of these Beachbody Huns and other MLM Huns, it gets too relatable to the point where you just feel that everything is so fake.
showing a wheelhouse of supplements that maybe you haven't been showing, that work for one of your followers, but maybe not, vice versa. What works for one follower may not work for the other. Number 5. Let's see. Share your strengths and the struggles. So this one gets tricky because honestly, sometimes I can see through the person that's trying to be so relatable that they start to become unrelatable, because I've been that person. Of course, life is not perfect, especially right now. Of course, it's hard. Of course that starting something new is hard. But when we start things, we have to, and things can be unsettling when we're in this like weird phase of our lives, but we have to be a light in a moment like that. So sharing wins and sharing them all. I do talk about scale wins because, some have similar goals to me. That's the stage I'm in my life. There are moments when I don't even own a scale. Does that mean everyone will relate? No. But the point of this is that you're not trying to reach everyone. You are trying to reach your tribe. So do I also talk about the non-scale wins? Absolutely, because I also have non-scale goals and I want to share. Some people say, what is a non-scale goal? What do you mean by that? Well, for example, that's a conversation starter. I want to fit into my pre-pregnancy clothes, and I'm still working on that. So that's something that I talk about. So sharing the big wins, but also sharing the small wins. My goal jeans fit over my hips now, winning, like whatever. People need to know that we're in this for the long haul, and that getting results, business or your personal journey, takes time. So share the struggles. Just don't become the negative account that no one wants to see, that everyone ends up muting. Sharing the struggles, sharing your feelings, but also sharing just how you plan to get out of that place. Like, what is your plan moving forward to get out of that struggle? Sharing tips on things that you do to feel better. When I was going through anxiety, depression, whatever, it was very big for me to share tips, very small tips, getting outside, looking up, seeing how small I was in this world. Those were honest things that really helped me when I was in that place. And if someone else is following you because they relate to that area of your life or that time that you're in, they're going to appreciate those tips as well. So your page should always provide resources and value in a way. Number 6, progress pics. The one picture each week or month or whatever challenge group that starts, this is the one picture each week or whatever that I post that does not get an edit. I would love for the entire page to be super aesthetically pleasing, but I don't care how aesthetically pleasing I want the page to be or how much my brain works. It makes me want to make it all look similar. I will never edit those. They need to be a true representation of my journey, and just filtering them makes people feel like their journeys need to be filtered too, and that we can't be happy in our truth. And I never want that. I never want someone else to think that my filtered photo is my unfiltered photo, and that they could never get to that place. So videos and pics of progress are never edited. I think this is really refreshing in a time where everything on social media tends to have like a really pretty filter on it. Okay. Number 7, energy. Your energy, I hope you know, is so contagious, and the truest way to see someone's authentic or non-authentic self is to just feel the vibe. I can see straight through someone who is honestly just not being themselves authentically. So step up, and if this is your struggle, that's your challenge, you're listening to this and you're like, I'm struggling with that because I don't have the confidence yet, then step up in your business, in your journey, and find personal development that's going to give you the confidence to start sharing as you and show the people yourself.
Whoa. Just whoa. So this is a line of this is basically saying that people can see through your false positivity, but you always need to be positive. false positivity. Don't do it. Always be positive. No one is 100% positive every single day. And I started noticing that the more I started becoming more anti-MLM, with a lot of the MLM Beachbody girls, the It Works girls, all of that. I started seeing it. That there is no way that these people are so bubbly and bouncy like they are in their stories. Like you can just feel that it's fake no matter what they do. And I also wrote down here the personal development part. Hold up. So I did buy Rachel Hollis's new book. I've got it in a bag because I really don't want to look at it now that I've seen how much she freaking plagiarizes. Things like that. Like, she's allegedly done a lot of these things. I'm half afraid to open the book and read it now. Like, I'm afraid the FBI is gonna, like, jump in and be like, after they all figured out that she's plagiarized from, like, 40 people. But I haven't even been able to finish Girl Wash Your Face, I think I have. I can't finish it. Like, I just can't finish it. I don't know what it is. I guess it's putting off a vibe, that kind of thing. But the reason I bring up Rachel Hollis is because her books are considered personal development, and a lot of people really push them in the MLM world for people to read. And there's one about being a badass or something like that, and we just ignore that. But what I'm trying to say is like, you could read every personal development book in the world, but unless you actually feel truly deep down that you are confident and you've actually become confident in some way, shape, or form, like, there's no book that you can read other than the Bible and praying to God that is going to make you confident without you faking the confidence until you believe it. So you might as well just skip out on reading these personal development books and going through and just, you might as well throw these personal development books out, because I haven't read a whole bunch of them, but a lot of them, if they're similar to Rachel Hollis, just throw them out. Personal development is not going to fix somebody who is severely insecure of not only about themselves, but of how they speak and what they do, and or especially somebody who gets severely anxious about the fact that they're being fake and they're not being authentic, because they have to put this facade out there that they're actually happy and that they're actually doing these things, that they're trying to sell a product that they're probably still confused about and unsure if it's really something that works or if it's just overpriced powder that somebody scooped off the ground. That was a joke. Don't get too excited. But as we continue on, I'm not going to finish out the rest of this video. I don't have any more times written down that are super important. I finished all that. But I had a few notes for the last of it, and continues on into personal setbacks, nutrition. Oh, I'm so happy that you had pizza and beer Friday night. That I'll get into that in a minute. Actually, let me go into this first before I get into this other long topic. So, when they continue into the part, and she discusses about, oh, it's great, you are flexible, you've been eating healthy and good for a while, all week, and then Friday night you had some pizza and some beer, and then you just went straight back to your diet. I mean, that's so great, and blah, 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 blah. Like, you're showing people that, and they're thinking that, like, oh, that's great, their diet is so flexible, and they're still losing weight, and so on and so forth. I'm not saying to shame anyone for dropping their diet, because if you're doing any of Beachbody's nutrition plans, you're doing diets one night a week, and you drink beer and have pizza. I'm not shaming you guys for any of that, nor would I ever shame anybody for doing that anyways. The part that irritates me is the fact that people post these things for them to to show their audience that they have that, hey, I skip out on a meal too every once in a while, and so on and so forth. And honestly, when I would do that, felt so guilty because I probably cleaned off that whole pizza, or at least 3/4 of that pizza, and that's not healthy. That is not normal, healthy eating. That is never the textbook definition or the real definition of healthy eating. That is binging. And trigger warning here, binging is not good. Binging is when you stuff yourself with so much food, and some people will purge because they stuff themselves too much, or they force themselves to purge. Or some people just binge and have a serious problem with binging. And I feel like that kind of advertisement and talk where she's like, oh, you had some beer and pizza last night, your diet is so flexible, that's great. Honey, they probably ate a whole pizza or more that night and binged because their diet was so out of whack that they were starving because of your all's nutrition programs. So here we go into the second part that I wanted to touch a little bit before I wrap this up. She also talked about working. Non-stop girl boss, work from home, mama ain't got no problems kind of stuff. But she kept saying a bad day does not equal not showing up. And she gave the example of going into work and you're having a bad day and your boss isn't going to let you off for having a bad day and being grumpy when you go in. Your boss is going to leave you alone while you're grumpy unless you're grumpy to them. They don't care. Like she said, they don't care. You still got to come in. The thing is, with an MLM in your supposed business, if you have a bad day and people are seeing that you have a bad day and can see through the fake facade that you've put up, see through the fog that you put over your bad day in your stories, that doesn't do any kind of good for your business. Because a lot of people can pick up and sense when people are fake, putting happy emotions out there and so on and so forth. Like, there's so many, I've seen so many of them, like, honestly, and I'm one of those people that it aggravates so much. But that is totally false, and it's false. It's 100% false positivity. And when you have false positivity and you're trying to run a business and sell products that you think are amazing, great, and wonderful, and deep down you can hear the gritting of your teeth, or you can hear the doubt or fakeness in everything that you're saying. If you can hear it, everybody else can hear it when you're trying to say it. Like, if you get what I'm saying. I hope you get what I'm saying. So, false. We can have bad days. Every business has bad days, whether it be a little gas station or a veterinary clinic or this and that and on. We can have bad days. There's a difference between continuing to work through it in a fake notion and being professional. And when it comes to an MLM, being professional is not something at least 90% of them do. That was just a generalized percentage, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, say I'm working at a little restaurant and I'm having a super bad day and I'm a waitress. Like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be professional, I'm not going to be overly fake friendly, and I'm not going to be a butt to people and be hateful and rude. I'm going to treat them with respect and continue on with my day even though it truly sucked. And then I'm going to go from there. I'm going to be professional. Now, if I was posting on Instagram about a product, aka like Shakeology or something, and I was talking about all the benefits of it, and I'm just standing there and I'm just rattling things off, sure, you could do that and be professional, but people can still see it, like, see that you don't want to be doing what you're doing. You are not in it. Like, you can't, there's a difference between working a job and being professional, like a real job, and being professional, and working an MLM pyramid scheme and putting out fake positivity out there to people, and you go on Facebook and start complaining about your mother's brother's aunt's dog's toenail fungus, and that escalated quickly. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you see all these great posts on their business pages and things like that with fake positivity, and then you go to their actual accounts and you see them bitching about somebody, or yelling about their mom, or grumbling about their dad or their kid, complaining about their kids, that their kids just act like idiots, and so on and so forth. And it kind of ruins it for you, you know? Like, you can just tell when they're being so fake. And then sometimes you get evidence that they're being fake. So with this team call, the basic point that I got out of this whole team call was to be authentic, but be fake. Like, that is all I heard throughout the whole thing. Be authentic, but be fake. Be yourself, but be fake positive all the time. And always show up no matter how you feel. Put a smile on your face even though you want to rip somebody's head off. That's the vibe I was getting from this. So thank you guys for staying tuned for this 3-parter, because I had to talk a lot, as I usually do. And I apologize if you did stay through this one too. Thank you. Comment below whatever word you feel like underneath. Just comment below. Like, comment, subscribe, share these, share them in the series, share some of the other videos that I've put up that's anti-MLM if you would like. Leave some comments below of other content that you would like to see, or you can private message me. Or find me on my social medias that I have linked in the description box. Thank you guys for watching, and I will have some nutrition links down below of how everything's set up, including intermittent fasting, 2B mindset, and I'm also going to link Ultimate Portion Fix, some reviews on those that I find that are pertinent and true to what it actually is compared to it being talked up. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry these videos are so long, but we made it through.